What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with another brand new review for the Real Housewives of I'm about to say Orange County, but this is Miami, you guys. This is season 7, episode 9. This episode was titled Pretty Preppy Petty People. Now, before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, guys, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, you guys, let us go ahead and discuss Real Housewives of Miami, shall we? All right, guys. So before I go ahead and get into it, I just want to know what you guys thought about the episode down in the comments section. Let me know. Now, you guys know that I will be traveling to New Orleans tomorrow morning. So, Real Housewives of Orange County. If I don't do that later tonight, we would do that first thing. Oh God, I don't know. If I don't do it tonight, we'll do it sometime tomorrow. But I don't know when that's going to be. My goal right now is more than likely to try to do it after we have the panel tonight. Which, speaking of the panel tonight, we are going live tonight on Really B's platform, and that's going to be at 8:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Central Time. So be sure to check us out for that. Now, this episode of The Real Housewives of Miami. If you guys watched it, I definitely want to know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section or in the live chat. Now, for me, these girls get on my nerves, and some more than others. And but you guys already know which girls get on my nerves. So it don't even have to be stated which girls do. Also, before I go ahead and get into it, so currently they still may be filming their reunion. So the Real Housewives of Miami's reunion is filming today. We did get the seating chart, which I will be honest, I vehemently disagree with this seating chart. I think that this seating chart is a mess. Like, don't agree with it at all. And then also starting August 14th, which is next week, they will have an after show. And let's see if do I have the pictures of the after show that I can show you guys? Yeah, I think I do have so I have a picture of the after show. I also have a picture of the reunion seating chart. So I'm gonna put all of that stuff on the screen for us before we get into the review, so that way we can discuss it and you guys can tell me like what you think, what you feel, and we'll talk about it from there. So give me just a second, you guys. I'm gonna airdrop all this stuff to my computer, and then we can definitely discuss what we see. So with the reunion filming today, I feel like they probably have a good maybe 5 or 6 episodes left. They probably have like we're at episode 9. So they're probably in about 15, well, 16. So we probably got a good five. Like I said, I feel like we got a good 5 or 6 more episodes left of this season of Miami. But like I said, let me get the reunion chart, seating chart up here, and also the after show. If my computer will airdrop it, there we go. Now let's see if I can bring it up on the screen for us. That's going to be the telling part about this. If we can bring this up on the screen. Nope. Damn it. I cannot. I don't know why my computer does this. Maybe it's because I'm already live. But so with the seating chart, since I can't bring it up on the screen, I will go ahead and just talk about the seating chart for the reunion. So we know Andy is center. So to Andy's left. No, to Andy's right. So to Andy's right, you have Stephanie, who is first chair, which I don't understand why Stephanie is first chair but she is. Then after Stephanie, it's Lisa. Then after Lisa, it's Gertie, and then last is Adriana. Which I'm not surprised that Adriana is last. She's a friend of. So then to no, that's his right. So to his left, you have Alexia, you have Larsa, you have Julia, you have Marisol, and you have Kiki at last. I don't know if I agree with that seating chart, but you guys can tell me what you think and what you feel about the seating chart. Now, for the after show, you have Alexia. I believe this is Alexia. Yeah, Alexia and Marisol. They're they're doing theirs together. Then you have Stephanie and Larsa doing theirs together. And then you have Adriana, who looks great, by the way. You have Adriana, you have Gertie, and you have Lisa doing one together. And then also you have Kiki and Julia together, which I'm so confused about Kiki and Julia, but that ain't got nothing to do with anything else. So let us go ahead and now discuss the episode, shall we? So the episode we open up, so we see Adriana and Lisa, so they're hanging out, right? So Adriana has taken her dog, I think it's Basquiat, to this place for him to hump another dog. I said, "Oh wow, this is interesting, right?" She's doing this before she snips him. So then they talked about this party that Marisol is going to be having, and Adriana didn't necessarily feel like she was really invited because I guess Marisol sent it in a group chat, and that's how Adriana knows about it. So Adriana does say that what happened on the boat with her and Marisol. She does regret that, because she was so drunk. She does regret calling her an old whore and talking about her body and all that kind of stuff. Uh, Again, for me personally, I thought the shit was funny. The body shaming not so much, but the fact that she called her an old whore, I thought was funny to me, right? So then they also did have a discussion about Julia, and so Lisa feels that when it comes to Julia, that Julia is very divisive at this point when it comes to her relationship and friendships. And y'all know I agree with Lisa with that because I do feel like Julia is giving Gertie and Adriana her ass to kiss because she's now friends with Alexia and Marisol. Like, um, Adriana has been in your corner from the first time we met you on this show. It's been you and Adriana, and you've had issues with Alexia and Marisol. But now that the quote unquote cool girls want to be cool with you, you good with it, and you throw your friends to the wayside. Like that's how I feel when it comes to Julia. So speaking of Julia, we see her and Marisol. So they're talking, right? And Marisol is talking about her issues with Adriana. So she feels like Adriana was picking at her. Y'all remember that narcissist party that Alexia had. So she feels that she was picking at her when she was putting all of her red flags into Marisol's vase. And I was like, so you you feel this way when everybody else was dogpiling and ganging up on Lisa. Like, I'm sorry, but Marisol, I don't give a damn. So Marisol is basically telling Julia the reason that she invited Adriana to her preppy party is because of Julia. I was like, okay, Julia and the fact that y'all are filming the show. So Marisol also says to Julia that she didn't like the whole body shaming thing that Adriana did, and I'll let her have that, right? So then Marisol asked her, like, asking Julia, this is how does she move forward when it comes to Gertie, right? So Julia says that the ship has sailed with Gertie, but they can be cordial. I was like, the ship sailed because of you, ma'am. Like, you really are sitting here and and it's like you're really trying to sit here and make Gertie be this bad guy. Now, is Gertie, like I've said numerous times before, Is Gertie annoying? Can Gertie be too much at times? Absolutely. But nothing that Gertie has done, from what I've saw, elicits the response that Julia has given to her. And those are my 2 cents. Again, if you agree, you agree. If you disagree, that's also fine as well. So then they also talked about the fact that they want to plan a trip for the girls. And basically, this is a trip to get Alexia's mind off of all the woes with Todd. So they called up Alexia on the phone. And as soon as they called up Alexia, Alexia was like, yeah, she would love to go because they're going to go to Seville. So Alexia was like, okay, yeah, we can go, but I need to be back by the 18th because the 19th is Todd's birthday. I said, oh my God, girl. Again, here's the thing that I will say again to her. If the dick is that good, then it's that good. But, you know, I just can't imagine it being that good to be this stupid. But that's what Alexia wants to do. We're going to let Alexia do what Alexia wants to do. But let's go ahead and move on to the next person, you guys. And so I'm going in order of my notes. So we will go to Gertie next. Gertie's scene, it wasn't really a whole lot with Gertie's scene. What I will say about Gertie's scene is we saw Dr. Jackie. When it comes to Jackie, I can tolerate and not tolerate Jackie at the same time. There are times where it's like you like Dr. Jackie, and then there are times that Dr. Jackie is just be a no for you. You know what I'm saying? In this particular scene, I wasn't even upset to see that, see or hear Dr. Jackie's voice or her name, because we know that Dr. Jackie also went through breast cancer just like Gertie did, right? So Dr. Jackie is uplifting Gertie, and Gertie was also talking to her about the things with she and Russell. And so Dr. Jackie said that she's gonna send Gertie a care package. And then, Gertie was also telling Jackie how these group of girls not really the most supportive when it comes down to her. And I will say some of them, the problem is, like I've said with this group, these girls are very selfish. It's all about self with this group of girls. Like they're all about self. But that's really it that we got with Gertie. If there's anything that I left out that people want to discuss, y'all know the routine. Leave it down in the comment section, you guys, and we can discuss it there. But let's go ahead and move on to the next person, Stephanie. So we see as Stephanie, Masood, and Julia and Martina are out on a double date with each other, right? What I will say about this double date with Stephanie, Masood, and Julia, I was irritated for one particular reason, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So they were talking, and they had a conversation about how when Martina retired from tennis, that her mother told her that she looked, years younger because she wasn't so stressed anymore. And I would ask her the question of, well, what makes you look so stressed today? Because you look like you look like yeah, that's not nice. What I was about to say. No, I'm gonna go ahead and still say it. You look like the old thing that thing. So if you guys watch SpongeBob, there's this thing that is it's an old woman, and she's in a wheelchair, and she screams at people. Why you look like that, Martina? Because that's what you look like, ma'am. But okay, whatever. So then Stephanie brings up her sisters, because I think she asked Julia if she has any siblings, and Julia has a brother that is 12 years younger than her. Then Stephanie says, well, I have twin sisters. We don't speak with each other because we don't speak the same language. I said, oh God, can somebody please find those twin sisters and do an interview with them? Because I want to hear their side of the story. I am sick of hearing Stephanie talk about her sisters, and her sisters are not here to defend themselves or give their side of the story. Now, we do find out from Julia that Julia's two older daughters are not really speaking to she or Martina at this point, because they were surprised when they went through with this adoption of Luca and the other baby. I forget his name. And I was like, so the girls feel like they should have included them a little bit more in this process. And I would honestly agree. So then they talk about this trip to Seville, right? So Stephanie says, "Well, I'm going to take my jet." Stephanie, you really tried way too hard. And coming into this season, I really thought I was going to like you. I wanted to like you. And the more that I look at you, you give me somebody, well, we know you didn't have money. You are the definition of new money. Like you are the definition of new money. But that's neither here nor there. So she told Julia to come on the plane with her, and she asked Julia who all she invited. So then we see as Julia asked for Martina and Masood to go to the bar and get a drink so that she and Stephanie can have a conversation, right? So she and Stephanie are sitting at the table and they are talking to each other, and Stephanie and Julia have a conversation about Alexia. And I think it's quite funny to me that she's sitting here defending Alexia to Stephanie. Like, do you do this? You don't even do this for your best friend. You don't do this for your best friend Adriana. But okay, because you are cool with both Alexia and Marisol at this point. But I ain't seen you really just defend Adriana. You are too you know what? Julia would be a no for me, but y'all know that at this point. So to end the episode, you guys, we'll end it with Marisol's party. So we see as everybody shows up to the party, dressed in their preppy wear. Now, what I will say before we get to that part is Kiki, why are you going back and having conversations with the girls about things that you and Gertie talked about? I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. Because we found out once Alexia got there that Gertie, not Gertie, but well, yeah, Gertie and Kiki had a conversation. So Kiki took the conversation back to Marisol, where in the conversation, Gertie alluded to these girls being like, it feels like a cult. Okay, if that's her feelings, y'all can't sit there and invalidate her feelings. And that's what's gonna piss me off. That's what pissed me off in this episode because it came up again later, right? So Alexia is saying that she doesn't like that and that she finds it very offensive. She said it feels like a cult. She didn't say this is a cult. It feels like it to her. Do y'all not know what a cult is? But okay, whatever. Whatever, moving on. So we see as Gertie arrives, right? So Gertie arrived with a gift for Marisol. You guys noticed she didn't come to Marisol's party after for her wedding, right? So she came with a Bartesian, which I would love one, although I don't drink like that, but I would love a Bartesian. So she came with a Bartesian and she came with gifts from her party. Now, Marisol, in her interview, is shading the hell out of Gertie, talking about that she heard that Lisa gave that Bartesian to Gertie, and Gertie re-gifted it and gave it to her. But last night, during the episode, Gertie posted a receipt where she bought it on Amazon. I was like, "Come on, Gertie! I love a person with a receipt. I love a person with a receipt." So then Alexia and Marisol are having a conversation with Gertie about this comment of the cult. Again, you guys cannot negate her feelings. And that was what was getting on my nerves with them because it really felt like they were trying to negate her feelings. And she said, "Yeah, I said that." And I was like, "Come on, Gertie, stand in it. Like, don't let these girls make you back down." And they're like, "Well, do you even want to be a part of this group?" I was like, "Oh God, the two witches of Miami, literally and figuratively." So they got on my nerves. Now we see as Adriana when she got there, so she pulled Marisol aside and had a conversation with Marisol, and she apologized to Marisol. So Marisol says to Adriana, like, there are other people in this group with bigger issues than us, so let's squash it. Now, I will say I did agree with Larsa when Adriana told him that they are good. And Larsa was like, well, how long do you think it's going to last? I was like, that is a good question, Larsa. How long will this last between Marisol and Adriana? I can imagine that they are probably screaming at each other at the reunion. So then we also see later as Gertie pulled Julia aside, right, to have a conversation. So Gertie told Julia that at the Greek party, she felt betrayed by her. And Julia says, well, I was just asking that guy for help when it comes down to it. Here's the thing, Julia. You can ask for help, but you yourself said that after that dinner with Gertie, that you were not going to bring it up and you weren't going to bring it up to the girl. So why did that cease at that point? Bullshit. So, Gertie, I wish you hadn't apologized to that woman because you didn't owe her no apology. But Gertie apologized for what happened at the party because Gertie says she felt like nobody was listening to her, so she was looking like the asshole, which you were, because those girls were definitely on Julia's side. But now they backtrack after seeing how the fans have reacted to Julia. I can't wait to see how it plays out at the reunion. So Julia gave one of those if but apologies. So I really don't care. But Gertie and Julia hug things out again. Don't care. So after that, we see Stephanie. So Stephanie decides she wants to pull Alexia to the side. And so she's basically telling Alexia that she felt like Alexia was belittling her when she called her a chihuahua. I was like, but Stephanie, you literally have inserted yourself into her business. You don't know her. So why are you doing it? Like, it's not making any sense. And now you want to sit here and play the victim? No, ma'am. But Alexia apologized at first, and then she ended up giving one of those but if apologies. So Stephanie invited Alexia to be on the private jet with her, and Alexia says, no, I'll go be with my bestie. And then we get back outside, and that's when, it was revealed to the group that she invited Alexia and Marisol on the plane. She also invited Julia. She reached out to, so it's Julia, Larsa, and it was Kiki that she talked to. So it was three people that could be on the plane with her. But she doesn't really know Adriana. And so Kiki was like, well, since you don't really know Adriana, then, why not you take the time to get to know Adriana that way? And so Adriana felt a way that her best friend, or quote unquote best friend, didn't suggest that she come on the plane, right? And I would feel a way too, because you see that Marisol said she wasn't gonna get on that plane without her best friend, but Julia and Adriana are supposed to be best friends, and there's no bad blood between Stephanie and Adriana. So I don't know why you wouldn't say, hey, Adriana's my best friend. Is it okay if Adriana comes? Yeah, Julia, your slip is showing, boo. Your slip is showing. But yeah, that's it, you guys. That's all I got. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, you guys, share the video. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I will see you guys later on for the panel tonight on Really B's platform. Again, it is at 8:30 Central Time. No, 8:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Central Time. And I'll see you guys then. And it's as always, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.